Hey everybody, today I decided to do a second how to tune a Traxxas 2.5 and 3.3 engine. And I think in my previous video I also tuned a rustler, nitro rustler, but this is actually a different one. This is one I picked up on eBay about a week ago, and I'm going to use this one to run off-road, so that way that my other one I got it set up for on-road running, and I didn't want to mess that one up, so I just got me another one. I'm going to use this one for off-road and leave my other one alone. And this one I grabbed for about, I think it was like $164, and that included the shipping on it. And all I've done to it so far is I took the engine out, cleaned it up, lubed it up, put new O-rings in the block, replaced the O-rings in the block, and then also took the carburetor off, cleaned it, and put new O-rings in the carburetor. And also had to change the throttle servo because it wasn't working. And I got the servo at $20.55 off of eBay for like 10 bucks, so it wasn't too bad. So I probably got about between $180 and $190 in it, and it's pretty mint on the bottom. Don't even look like it's been run before hardly. And here's another thing I do, guys. I mark the flywheel. So instead of guessing if it's at bottom or not, I just look at my yellow mark there, so I can spin it and set it real quick to make sure that piston is all the way down. And today I'm running, like I always do, I'm running 20% nitro and 14% oil. VP. And I didn't clean the tank out. Hope I didn't make a mistake there. It looked clean inside, but I should have probably flushed it out, but I didn't. And this is going to be the first time I fire it up. I haven't started it since I've had it, so. So we'll see how it works out. And I set the carburetor back to factory settings. I got the high speed 4 turns out, low speed flush with the throttle shaft, and I got like 5.5 millimeters on the idle gap. Pretty clean. I'm happy with it so far. We'll see if I'm happy with it after today. Now, I've never run, only thing I've run off-road is the T-Max. I haven't run anything else off-road, so I'm looking forward to that. And of course, we don't have turn the receiver on. I mean the transmitter. Alright, problem number 1, and I checked this before I left the house. It was working when I left the house. It's not linking together. Let me try to get it to link. That didn't work. Alright, there it goes. I don't know what that's about. So throttle, brakes are working. So the plan is we're going to start it, run it to get heat into the motor. Once the motor gets warmed up in the engine, then we're going to set the high-speed needle. When we get the high-speed needle, then we'll go down there and adjust on the low speed and the idle screw and see if we can get it. See if we can get it set pretty good. I mean, trying it. Okay, I gotta bring it in and see if I can get it to idle down. Yeah, it's getting pretty hot that way, pretty quick. So I'm gonna set the, see the mark is already on the bottom, so we're good. Right there it shows about 230. And my throttle is closing. Kind of unusual to have a high idle on the factory settings. So I am going to back out the idle screw. A half turn. So I went 6 hours out on the idle screw. I'm gonna go, it seems like it's running lean, so I'm going to richen the high speed 3 hours by screwing it out. Not sure why it's dying. Feels pretty good right there. One way I like to set my high-speed needle is by the way the throttle trigger feels. When I'm at half throttle, I want the car to feel like it's pulling at half throttle, and when I'm at full throttle, I want it to feel like it's pulling at full throttle. If you got it too lean, half throttle will feel like full throttle. If you got it too rich, then half throttle will feel like quarter throttle. But I'm happy with that right there. Now I'm going to do a couple of fast passes. I'm gonna bring it in. I'm gonna, well, shoot. I'm thinking it's lean on the, hang on guys, I just dropped my thing. I'm gonna pause it. Yeah, I'm thinking it's running lean on the low speed. I didn't bring my glasses. I'm going to go ahead and richen at low speed. For a couple hours. Got a car coming, what they want. Probably run me off. So I went 3 hours. Went 3 hours richer on the low speed. gonna bring it in. I'm gonna do the fuel line pinch test on it. Yeah, it is lean on the bottom, so I'm actually going to give it 2 hours. I'm going to richen the bottom end 2 hours. And it's pretty close to 2 hours. And I think we're going to be pretty good right there. I'm going to do the fuel line pinch test again. We're right at 3 seconds on the low speed. So now, since my low speed is set, I need to lower the idle by backing out the idle screw and backing out the low speed at the same time. So I'm gonna go 2 hours on the idle screw. So I back the idle screw at 2 hours. And then I'm gonna back out the low speed screw 2 hours, so I don't mess that setting up, so I don't mess my low speed setting up. So back out the low speed 2 hours, and I backed out the idle screw 2 hours. If I just backed out the idle screw 2 hours, that would lean out my low speed. So that's why I make, once I get my low speed set, then I make the same adjustment to the low speed as I make to the idle screw. I'm sure that was pretty confusing, but I did the best I could. low speed is still at 3 seconds, but I'm gonna go ahead and go 2 more hours. It's still idling high, so I'm gonna back out the idle screw 2 more hours, and I'm gonna back out the low speed screw 2 more hours until we find a little bit lower idle. So 2 hours on the idle out, and 2 hours on the low speed out. We'll do the pinch test again. So we're staying good on the low speed, so we just need to keep doing what we're doing. Be getting low on fuel. Yeah, low on fuel. So I don't know how accurate that pinch test was with being low on fuel like that. But I'm going to go 2 hours out on the low speed, and then we're going to go 2 hours out on the idle. I think we're there. It might be a little rich on the top now for some reason. But I'd rather be a little rich and a little lean. We'll do the pinch test again. slightly rich on the bottom, so I'm going to turn the idle screw out. I got 4 seconds on the low speed side, so I'm going to turn the idle screw out about 1 hour. And I turned the wrong screw. I turned the low speed screw. So I'm going to set it back to where it was. And then turn the idle screw out 1 hour. I went ahead and leaned out the high-speed screw 1 hour. I'm gonna lean the high-speed screw out 1 more hour. I'm going to do the pinch test since I messed with that high speed. Right at 3 seconds. I mean, that's actually really good, but I'm going to try to get a little bit lower on the idle. And I don't think this engine has much fuel through it, so I'm going to back out the idle screw 1 hour. I'm going to back out the low speed screw 1 hour. I'm gonna call that good enough. It's at 208, so I think we're good. All right, then I usually try to start it a few more times just to get the excess fuel out. Then when it stops doing that, so we got all the fuel out of it, and then pistons at bottom dead center. So cut the car off, cut the receiver on transmitter. I want to say one thing about these rustlers. A lot of people don't give them enough credit, I don't think, since they're just a two-wheel drive single speed stadium truck, but actually they're a lot of fun. And if I had to recommend a nitro to somebody for their first nitro, it would be probably this one. For one thing, I don't have no experience with any other brand, just the Traxxas, and this one's probably the most easiest to tune out of all of them because it has the 2.5, which is easier to learn on because it don't have a tendency to lock up or stick like the 3.3, and also it has a downward pipe on it where, say, your T-Max and your Revo, their pipes curve up when it comes out of the block. When your header comes out of the block, the T-Max especially curves up, and that causes tuning issues because that excess fuel and oil will accumulate right there where the header and the block comes together. Where this one, it don't have that issue because it's going downhill. So I would recommend the Rustler 2.5 would make a good first nitro. So anyway, guys, I guess that's it. We're done. We'll put it up next time I have this one out. It'll be in the dirt. This one's gonna stay on the dirt. Later.